My sister texted me on a Thursday, family dinner at 6. Mom and Dad will be there. I showed up at 5:58 because I'm not a monster. The house smelled like garlic bread and marinara, and my nieces were already fighting over who got to sit next to Grandma. Standard chaos. Dinner was fine. We ate pasta. My brother-in-law talked about his golf game for 20 minutes straight. My nephew spilled juice on himself twice. Classic family stuff. My mom and I cleaned up while everyone else migrated to the living room. She was telling me about her book club drama when my sister popped her head into the kitchen. Blue, can you watch the kids for an hour? We need to run an errand real quick. I looked at the clock. 7:45 p.m. I've got plans at 9, I said. But sure, 1 hour works. Perfect. We'll be back by 8:45, I promise. My mom left with my dad a few minutes later. My sister and brother-in-law came back downstairs looking like they were about to hit a red carpet event. She had on heels. He was wearing cologne that could choke a horse. Errands, huh? I said. Quick ones, she said, grabbing her purse. They'd done this before. The whole "we'll be gone for an hour" thing that somehow stretched into 3. Usually I didn't care because I had nothing better to do. But tonight I actually had plans. Drinks with my friends at a new bar downtown. I'd been looking forward to it all week. 1 hour, I repeated. I'm serious. I need to leave by 9. Got it. 1 hour. She blew kisses at the kids and they were out the door. The kids were cool. My nephew was 11, obsessed with Fortnite and deeply convinced he was going to be a professional gamer. My oldest niece was 9, currently in her Stranger Things phase. And the youngest was 4, a tiny agent of chaos who loved markers more than life itself. For the first hour, I actually tried. I played a board game with them. Made popcorn. Kept the little one from eating crayons. Standard babysitting stuff. 8:45 came and went. I called my sister. Straight to voicemail. 8:50, called again. Nothing. By 9 o'clock I knew I wasn't making it to the bar. I texted my friends, can't make it. Sister bailed on me. Sorry. They sent back a string of angry emojis and a "this is why we hate your sister" message that honestly wasn't wrong. 9:15, still no answer. That's when I made my decision. I'd agreed to 1 hour of responsible babysitting. 1 hour of keeping them fed, entertained, and away from sharp objects. That hour was up. Anything past that, not my problem. I'd keep them alive because I'm not a psychopath, but that was it. Bare minimum only. My nephew looked up from his iPad. Can I play Fortnite? Sure. Mom said I only get an hour of screen time. Your mom's not here. His eyes went wide like I'd just told him Santa was real and lived next door. He sprinted to the Xbox. My niece tugged on my sleeve. Can we watch Stranger Things? Mom says I'm too young, but I've already seen 3 episodes at Kayla's house. Season 1 or 2? 1. We're on episode 4. Cool. Let's finish the season. The youngest appeared with a fistful of markers. Draw. I glanced at the walls. They were that boring beige color that every suburban house has. Go for it, buddy. He grinned like I'd handed him the keys to Disney World and toddled off to the hallway. I settled onto the couch with my niece and hit play. The Demogon was doing its thing on screen. My nephew was screaming into his headset about someone being trash at building. Somewhere in the distance, I heard the satisfying squeak of marker on wall. 10 p.m. rolled around. No call. No text. Nothing. My nephew rotated between matches. The kid had the energy of someone who'd just discovered cocaine. His little fingers were flying over that controller like he was performing surgery. Don't you need to sleep? I asked during one of his load screens. It's Friday tomorrow. No school. Fair enough. My niece was fully invested in the show now. Every time something scary happened, she'd grab my arm and squeeze. When Barb disappeared, she looked at me with genuine horror. Is Barb going to be okay? Keep watching. 11 p.m. Still nothing from my sister. The little one had moved from the hallway to the living room wall. He'd drawn what I think was supposed to be a dog but looked more like a deformed potato with legs. Then he drew a house. Then a sun. Then just random scribbles because apparently he was going through his abstract phase. That's some good art, man, I told him. He beamed at me and kept going. Midnight. My nephew was on his 6th hour of Fortnite. The kid's eyes were bloodshot but he was locked in. He'd made friends with some random kids online and they were running squads. I could hear them all screaming about loot and storm circles. My niece and I were halfway through season 2. She was completely hooked. Every episode ended and she'd immediately ask if we could watch another one. Your mom's gonna be mad at me for this, I said. Mom's not here, she shot back, throwing my own words back at me. Smart kid. The little one had finally tired himself out. I found him passed out in his bed, marker still clutched in his hand, walls around him looking like a toddler art gallery exploded. 12:30 a.m. I heard a car in the driveway. My sister walked in looking like she'd just come back from a wedding. Her makeup was still perfect. My brother-in-law was grinning like an idiot behind her. She stopped dead when she saw the living room. My nephew, still glued to the TV, screaming about someone stealing his kill. My niece and me on the couch, deep into an episode where Steve Harrington was beating a demogan with a baseball bat. The walls in the hallway visible from the living room, covered in marker drawings that looked like a 4-year-old crime scene. What the hell happened here? I stood up. They are alive. You're welcome. Blue, it's almost 1 a.m. Yeah. You said 1 hour. That was 5 hours ago. My phone died. Car chargers exist. We lost track of time. I grabbed my jacket. Not my problem. Did you let him play Fortnite this whole time? He has screen time limits. He told me. I didn't care. And Stranger Things. She's 9. That show is way too scary for her. My niece piped up from the couch. I'm fine, Mom. It's not even that scary. My sister's face was turning red. And the walls. There are drawings all over the walls. Yeah. He had fun. This is so irresponsible. I headed for the door. I agreed to 1 hour. I did a great job for 1 hour. Everything after that was bonus babysitting. Next time, come home when you say you will. I left. The text started the next morning. My sister sent a novel about how immature I was. How I'd completely disregarded her parenting rules. How she'd specifically told me about screen time limits and age-appropriate content. How they'd spent an hour scrubbing marker off the walls and it still wasn't coming off. Then my mom called. Blue, your sister is very upset. Cool. She trusted you to watch the kids and you let them run wild. She said 1 hour. She was gone for 5. I kept them alive. That's the deal. You're their aunt. You should have been more responsible. I was responsible for exactly 1 hour. After that, I was just making sure nobody died. That's not how family works. Then maybe family should come home when they say they will. She hung up on me. My dad texted, your mother is upset with you. I replied, add it to the list. My brother-in-law sent me a message about respect and setting a good example and some other nonsense I didn't bother reading all the way through. My sister sent another essay. This time about how her marriage needs date nights and how hard it is to find alone time and how I was being selfish. I turned my phone on Do Not Disturb. Here's the thing, I don't actually feel bad. Not even a little bit. They asked me to watch the kids for 1 hour. I said yes to 1 hour. I cleared my schedule for 1 hour. I cancelled plans when that hour turned into 5 hours. For that first hour, I was a model babysitter. Games, snacks, full attention. But once they blew past their own deadline without so much as a text, that was on them. The kids had a great night. My nephew got to play Fortnite until his eyes hurt. My niece discovered her new favorite show. The little one created a masterpiece on the walls that would make Jackson Pollock proud. Nobody got hurt. Nobody burned the house down. The oldest didn't start a fight club. The middle one didn't summon a demon. The youngest didn't eat furniture. I call that a win. The family group chat was blowing up for 3 days. My sister posting about boundaries and respect. My mom agreeing with her. My brother-in-law chiming in about disappointment. I muted the chat. My friends, on the other hand, thought it was hilarious. One of them sent me a gif of someone shrugging. Another said I was her hero. A third one offered to buy me a drink next time we went out. You really just let the kid draw on the walls? My best friend asked over coffee. Yep. That's savage. That's what happens when you disappear for 5 hours. She raised her coffee cup. I'm never asking you to babysit. Good. A week later, my sister called. Not texted. Actually called. We need to talk, she said. Pass. Blue, I'm serious. So am I. You can't just. I can, actually. And I did. You want a babysitter who follows all your rules and puts the kids to bed on time and makes sure they eat vegetables. Hire someone. Pay them. Give them clear instructions and come home when you say you will. Your family. Exactly. Which means you should respect my time. Silence on the other end. We were at a work dinner for his boss, she finally said. It ran late. Your phone died at a work dinner where everyone else had phones. More silence. It wasn't a work dinner, was it? We just needed a night out. We haven't had time alone in months. Then hire a babysitter. Don't trick me into it and disappear for 5 hours. We couldn't afford. Not my problem. You're really not going to apologize. For what? Keeping your kids alive. You're welcome, by the way. She hung up. My mom called 30 minutes later. You need to apologize to your sister. I'm good. She's stressed. Being a mother is hard. Then she shouldn't lie to her babysitters. You're being petty. I'm being realistic. She said 1 hour. She lied. Actions have consequences. They are family. Which is exactly why she shouldn't take advantage of me. My mom did her disappointed sigh. The one she's perfected over 30 years of dealing with me and my sister. Fine. But don't expect them to ask you for help again. That's kind of the point, Mom. Another 2 weeks went by. Radio silence from my sister. The occasional guilt trip text from my mom. My dad stayed out of it because he's smart. Then last weekend, I ran into my sister at the grocery store. We both froze in the produce section like two cowboys in a standoff. She was holding a bag of apples. I was holding a bag of chips because I'm an adult who makes healthy choices. Blue. Hey. Awkward silence. The kids ask about you, she said. Yeah. They had fun that night. I know. Even though it was completely irresponsible. I shrugged. You get what you pay for. And you paid for 1 hour. She actually smiled. Just a little. You're an asshole. Learned from the best. I can't believe you let him draw on the walls. I can't believe you ditched me for 5 hours and expected me to enforce bedtime. She shifted the apple bag from one hand to the other. We really did need a night out. Then communicate that. Don't tell me it's an hour for errands and show up after midnight in a cocktail dress. Fair. We stood there for a minute. Other shoppers pushed past us, completely unaware they were witnessing a family Cold War thawing in real time. Mom wants me to apologize to you, she said. Mom wants me to apologize to you. Are you going to? Are you? We both laughed. Truce, she offered. On one condition. Next time you need a babysitter, be honest about how long you'll be gone. And if it's more than 2 hours, I'm charging you. Deal. She held out her hand. I shook it. The marker still hasn't come off completely, she added. That's what happens when you buy washable markers for a 4-year-old and leave them unsupervised. You were supervising. Barely. And only for 1 hour. She rolled her eyes, but she was smiling. We went our separate ways in the store. No big emotional moment. No dramatic apology. Just an understanding that we'd both been kind of ridiculous but also kind of right. My nephew still asks if I can come over so we can play Fortnite. My niece wants to finish Stranger Things together. The little one apparently asks if I'm coming to visit so he can show me his new drawings. My sister hasn't asked me to babysit again. But last week she sent me a text. Dinner this Friday? Just dinner. No babysitting ambush. Promise. I went. We ate tacos. The kids were already in bed by the time I got there. My brother-in-law actually apologized for the whole situation. My sister admitted they'd been taking advantage of my free time. And when I left at 9 p.m., nobody tried to stop me. I didn't win anything from this situation. I didn't expose some massive family conspiracy or discover hidden evidence of wrongdoing. I just set a boundary. And yeah, I set it in the most chaotic way possible by letting the kids go absolutely feral for 4 hours. But it worked. My family learned that my time has value. That I'm not a free babysitting service. That if you tell me 1 hour, you better mean 1 hour. And honestly, the kids learned that Aunt Blue is fun as hell when she stops trying to be responsible. So 4 people thought I was being an asshole. 3 kids had the best night of their lives. And I never got trapped in another quick errand that turned into an all-night babysitting session. I'd call that a win. The marker stains on the wall are still there, by the way. My sister sent me a photo last week. She's given up trying to remove them and just put a bookshelf in front of the worst ones. I sent back a laughing emoji. She replied with a middle finger emoji. Family dynamics, officially restored.